Have you ever been absolutely certain that you remembered something correctly, only to discover that it never happened the way you believed? Imagine talking with your friends about a famous movie quote, only to realize that every one of you remembers the exact same words, but those words were never actually spoken. Or perhaps you clearly remember the spelling of a popular brand, yet when you check it today, it has always been different. How can thousands or even millions of people share the exact same false memory? This strange psychological phenomenon is known as the Mandela Effect, and it has fascinated scientists, psychologists, and curious minds around the world for years. It challenges one of the most basic assumptions we make every day, that our memories are accurate. Most people believe that memory works like a video camera, recording every detail exactly as it happens. But modern neuroscience tells a completely different story. Your brain doesn't replay memories like a movie. Instead, it rebuilds them every single time you remember them. That means every memory you recall can be slightly changed without you even noticing. This isn't a sign that you're losing your mind. In fact, it's something that happens to almost everyone. Your brain constantly fills in missing information, connects ideas, and even creates details that feel completely real. Sometimes those details match reality. Other times they don't. And when millions of people make the same mistake, it becomes one of the most mysterious psychological phenomena ever discovered. But here's the biggest question of all. If your own memory can deceive you so easily, how many of your strongest beliefs are actually based on memories that were never completely true? By the end of this video, you'll discover the fascinating science behind false memories, why the Mandela Effect happens, and why your brain may not be the trustworthy recorder you always believed it was. Reply next and I'll provide scene 2 with another detailed image prompt and a 3,000-character voiceover. So what exactly is the Mandela Effect, and why does it happen to so many people? The term Mandela Effect was introduced by researcher Fiona Broom after she discovered that many people shared the same memory that Nelson Mandela had died in prison during the 1980s. The strange part was that this memory felt completely real to thousands of people. They remembered news reports, conversations, and even emotional reactions. But in reality, Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and later became the president of South Africa. He passed away many years later in 2013. This raised an incredible question. How could so many unrelated people remember the exact same event incorrectly? At first, many believed it was something mysterious, parallel universes, alternate timelines, or glitches in reality. These ideas became popular because they sounded exciting. But scientists took a different approach. Instead of asking whether reality had changed, they asked whether human memory itself could explain the phenomenon. The answer turned out to be far more fascinating than science fiction. Your memory is not a perfect recording device. Every time you remember an event, your brain doesn't simply replay it. Instead, it reconstructs it using bits and pieces of stored information. During this reconstruction, your brain fills in missing details based on logic, emotions, expectations, and previous experiences. Most of the time, these changes are so small that you never notice them. But sometimes, they become significant, enough to create a completely false memory that feels absolutely real. Psychologists call this memory reconstruction, and it happens every single day without us realizing it. The more often you recall a memory, the more opportunities your brain has to subtly change it. Over time, those changes can become so convincing that you would confidently defend them, even when presented with clear evidence that your memory is wrong. This is what makes the Mandela Effect so fascinating. It isn't proof that reality has changed. Instead, it reveals something even more surprising. The human brain is incredibly creative, efficient, and powerful, but it is not perfect. Sometimes, in its attempt to make sense of the world, it creates memories that never truly existed, leaving us questioning not reality itself, but the reliability of our own minds. Reply next for scene 3. What if your biggest limitation isn't reality, but the story your mind keeps repeating? Every experience you have creates a mental pattern. The more you repeat the same thoughts, the stronger those patterns become. That's why fear, self-doubt, and negative beliefs can feel impossible to escape. Your brain isn't trying to hurt you, it is simply following the pathways it has used the most. The fascinating part is that these pathways can change. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, your brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself through new experiences and repeated actions. Every time you choose a different response, challenge a limiting belief, or practice a healthier habit, you're strengthening a new neural pathway. Real change doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small, consistent choices that slowly rewrite the way your brain works. Over time, confidence replaces fear. Hope replaces doubt, and new habits become automatic. The next time your inner voice tells you that you can't succeed, remember this: it's not predicting your future, it's repeating your past. And the past doesn't have to define what comes next. The mind is powerful, but it is also trainable. The question is, what story will you choose to repeat from today onward? Think about the last time you made a decision without even realizing why. Maybe you reached for your phone the moment you woke up. Maybe you avoided speaking up in a meeting, or instantly judged someone you had just met. These actions often feel like conscious choices, but many of them are driven by subconscious programming, built over years of repeated experiences. Your subconscious mind is designed to save energy. Instead of analyzing every situation from scratch, it relies on familiar patterns. This is helpful when learning skills like driving or typing, but it can also trap you in cycles of fear, procrastination, and self-doubt. The good news is that awareness changes everything. The moment you notice an automatic behavior, you create an opportunity to interrupt it. That brief pause gives your conscious mind the chance to make a different decision. Every small change matters. Reading one page instead of scrolling social media, taking one deep breath before reacting, speaking one sentence despite feeling nervous. These tiny actions may seem insignificant, but repeated consistently, they reshape your habits and your identity. Remember, your future isn't determined by one dramatic moment. It's built by the small choices you make every single day, and those choices begin with awareness. Scene 5, Image Prompt. A breathtaking cinematic illustration of a person standing on the edge of a mountain at sunrise, surrounded by golden light. Glowing neural pathways extend from the person's head into the sky, symbolizing mental transformation, growth, and limitless potential. Ultra-realistic, inspirational, psychological theme, dramatic lighting, 4K, highly detailed. Scene 5, Voiceover, English. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a completely different mindset. The challenges around you may remain the same, but your response to them can become stronger, calmer, and more confident. That is the true power of understanding your mind. Psychology teaches us that lasting transformation doesn't come from waiting for motivation. It comes from building systems, creating positive habits, and repeating actions until they become part of who you are. Every thought you encourage, every habit you repeat, and every decision you make is shaping the person you will become. Your mind is like a garden. If you allow fear, doubt, and negativity to grow without control, they will eventually take over. But if you intentionally plant confidence, curiosity, discipline, and gratitude, those qualities will become stronger with time. So the next time you face a difficult decision, ask yourself one simple question. Is this choice helping me become the person I want to be? That single question can change the direction of your life. The human brain is one of the most extraordinary creations in existence. Learn how it works, train it with purpose, and you'll discover that your greatest limits were never outside of you. They were only stories waiting to be rewritten. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating psychology content.